In the entertainment realm, we've had music festivals that a lot of the local businesses hasn't been asked to give money for because the tourism commission has had it. That's been a wonderful thing. They're working on several things. About 9.5 years ago, I sit in a meeting with Joe Asher, Ralph Hoskins, Ronnie Miller, and Charlie Goodman. And Joe Asher had made an appointment for Ronnie Miller, Charlie Goodman, Ralph Hoskins, and Earl Owens to sit on the Clay County Industrial Authority Board. We had land on Cottle Gap, just over the hill there. We had a piece of property. At that particular time, it was over-vegetated. Nothing was being done. One of our goals was to work with people. We did. We had one person come in, took a chance, couldn't make it. Since that time, you have had Miracle Mountain that has developed. We as the board gave with money to help do some excavating work up there, the money that we had at that particular time. Miracle Mountain is one of the best things that has happened in this area. It is God sent and heaven sent. Now, you've got Open Soccer that has teamed up with Advent Health and some other people. They have done something, and there's another huge project that is in the works for up there that has to do with VOA, Advent Health, the Clay County Industrial Authority Board, in which that we sit on. The second thing was, and I'll be quick because I don't want to run for time, we went to the ad board, and we had a map drawn up, a total map of all the land in Clay County. We found different pieces of property. And Ralph Hoskins walks in one day and Ralph says, look guys, the property that we're looking for is already federally owned. So what do? We had a map from Double Creek. And we said, we want to start for a lake. We want to have a lake project. We went back to the ad board. We met with Rand Paul. And Rand Paul told Ralph Hoskins, says, that's a wonderful idea. I'm sending you Brian Mills, my local guy. Brian comes over, meets with us. Wonderful idea. Went and met with Hal Rogers' office, with Mitch McConnell's office. We knew what we were facing. The EPA told us there were 24 plus hurdles that we had to go through. That was all fine and dandy. They said this could take 25 years. We said, we don't care. We may not be allowed to see this, but we want to start the ball rolling. We got the ball rolling. 2 weeks ago, Ronnie Miller and Ralph Hoskins and myself had to have a meeting on another little piece of property that we want to help someone local with. And Ronnie and Ralph says, well, guess what? We got someone from the Environmental Protection that has been assigned to this lake committee. So now you tell me, and they're not here to slap us and the rest and say you can't do that. They're here to say, we're going to do everything we can do to help you do that. Now, does that mean it's going to happen? We don't know. But I tell you one thing, we ain't going to give that up. We're going to fight for that. And we have fought for that. And we will continue. But the good thing is, for the first time, and well, the agent told us that they've never been assigned for a lake project anywhere in the United States of America, but they're assigned from Clay County, Manchester. And if this thing happens, it's 350 acres of water up to 200 feet deep. Now you tell me what that would do for our community.
Residential development, industrial development?
Everything. Sorry, didn't mean to take too long, but I did want to throw that out there. That way people know.
Now we'll.
I'll take long.
Yeah.
Since all of us are here, there's 10 candidates.
we talked a lot about jobs and how important they are. And when I go around the area, I see companies begging for customer call center workers. And they pay pretty decent salaries too. And they can't fill those in Corbin and London. And we used to have a call center in Manchester a number of years ago in McKinney. And we lost that particular opportunity and those jobs. Is anyone having conversations with these customer care centers? We have a lot of folks looking for work, and many of them are driving over to London for those jobs. Is anybody having those kinds of conversations?
We've had probably 6 different job screenings for at home computer work with that, and I think the number, and don't quote me on the number, but I'm pretty sure countywide we have like 108 or maybe 111. And listen, I may be off a couple of these numbers. They are now working at home. They are programs out there that we have worked through Teleworks USA. Teleworks is getting ready to come here to the city of Manchester and have a hub. They're going to have space here, and those are projects that we've been a part of both city and county working together. Teleworks is coming. They're going to have a hub here, and we have spoke with 4 of the biggest call center operations. We now have access to the highest internet anywhere in America. You know, through the main mile of Kentucky wired, that has happened. So that was one of the obstacles that we faced, is we didn't have the internet up or down load speed to give people these type of jobs here. We do have that now. DRTC has worked. I know House Cable has done some upgrades. Windstream has done upgrades. Spectrum, every cable company, CNW, that offers internet along with their cable, they've all done upgrades. So that is going to be a bigger reality, and that's probably going to happen sooner rather than later. I know of a lot of people, again, that are working at home doing that type of work, which is a blessing.
Moving on into the third area of expansion and opportunity, Mr. Smith, can you talk to us a little bit about how you're going to help engage citizens and voters to get involved in some of these wonderful projects? How are you going to help facilitate that and encourage their participation?
Well, one thing I can personally do is, since I do own the local access channel, Catch TV, I need to do a better job of keeping people informed. I think more meetings like this are good, and at least give back people, to be heard. A lot of people don't want to be heard, but with social media, it really shouldn't be that big of an obstacle to put things on there. Me and Earl's been working on this live stream, and we're just getting started with that. I guess 2 months in.
Yeah.
About 2 months in, I think we did maybe 10 different types of programs so far. So I think anything that we do with social media will help people get the word out and get some input back from people. It all boils down to it. We're all citizens here, and we all need to have a voice, and everyone needs to think that their voice matters. I would think that would probably be the way to go.
Mr. Owens, engaging citizens, getting them more involved, how do we do that?
I think the ball is rolling now. I think a lot of our volunteers have been wonderful getting us involved, And there's nothing wrong with being accountable. Accountability is the best thing in the world. Look, I may not answer every question exactly right, but as I often said, I will answer it the best way I know how. I will answer it as honest as I can, and I will do everything I can for the community. I've spent 31 years in radio, and one thing you can always say, I was always there for the community. I gave public service constantly, and still do. This is like Eddie was talking about with the TV show. We're not making money. It's all volunteerism, and that's the way it should be. A city council position, it's not a paid position. Some people think it is. You're getting salary. People do this because of their love for the community, but you've got Jamie and his crew that volunteer with the Welcome Center for the Manchester Square Shopping Center there in the mini mall. It's going to be opening back up soon after a lot of this COVID stuff gets over with. People have to be together. We're all in a big boat sailing together. Does that mean that Mike Davis may not like everything Earl Owens says? Maybe not. But does that mean you and I can't be friends and work together? Absolutely it doesn't mean that. I don't have the answers for everything, but I'll listen. I'll listen to you. I'll listen to Eddie, Barb. I'll listen to everybody. And God knows I don't have every answer, but I know where my heart lies.
Well, I think collaboration is key.
Yeah,
cooperation is key. And communicate with people, let them know. As Mr. Smith talked about a moment ago, with social media and the TV channel, etc. Ms. Coulter, we're talking about engaging community citizens and getting them involved and projects and activities. Any thoughts about how we would help create this momentum and keep it moving forward, get people involved in activities?
You want me to say something about it?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I've lived here all my life except 8 months. And I thought, I'm like Lee Sizemore when he said, we were in Florida at a drug workshop, and he said, I'd love to go home. I said, well, I'd love to go home too. He said, you show me a mountain and I can walk the rest of the way, you know. So I went to Florida for 8 months, and my husband's from there, but I wasn't happy. I wanted to come home because I care about Clay County, I care about Manchester. I'm a people person. I love the people, you know. And as Earl was saying, we work well together. We don't have a lot of fusses. We can't do a lot because there's not a lot of jobs, there's not a lot of money, but we get things done. Just like we have with the Stay in Clay Miss Bando, we have ended up getting more than $10,000 not only for the flag that Danielle got, we've got $10,000 more for our nativity scene for the park, plus she and the committee, which I'm on the committee, the park committee has got $10,000 of lights going up. So our town is gonna really look great. Of course, we've got workers, Danielle, we've got Bando, we've got Betty, she's a good bum, Banda's a good bum, Danielle's a great bum. We hate that bumming, but the town has really been gracious to us. And I just wish that we had jobs, because the jobs would be the answer, but yet even with jobs, we've still got to have infrastructure. We've got to have roads, we've got to have water, and I know everybody here knows me, and I've served 8 years as a state legislator. So I really came home to help Clay County, and it really helps me. I'm a person that loves to do things for people. And I got offered today that maybe we could get, the city could get 23 acres free if we would some way charge it off for this person, and we could either make a park out of it, or she said when Doug White was mayor, that he offered her money for it to put in a housing development. So that's something we're gonna look at and talk with James Ed about. And so I don't know, whatever anybody else would like to ask me, I'd be happy to answer. You can't do great things without money and jobs. But we have a good time, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So in this area of expansion and opportunity, we're talking about collaboration for the city, the county, state officials, etc., engaging the community and citizens, and collaborative opportunities with different groups in the community. What is a primary goal you'd like to achieve within the next 1 or 2 years? What is like the one wish list, the one Montgomery Ward Christmas book that you'd like to pick out, and that's what I'd like to have? What's the one big thing you'd like to be able to do over the next couple of years?
I would say, it all goes back to the expansion, jobs. I mean, just jobs. And I know everybody talks jobs. And I've heard the excuse, well, you know, a lot of people don't want to work. Okay. But now we have a lot of people that leaves Clay County every day to work. I've got family members, friends. I'm looking at Mike Davis right here. Right here's a living proof of one of them.
Never had a local job in my life.
That's what I'm saying. This is home, but you crossed the border. Several of those have told me, you know, if we had jobs here, we could take it less money because we wouldn't have to travel as far. We would stay home. And I think that's the key. And again, you know, I'm not beating a dead horse, but I think everything, 10 jobs equals 3 stores. You know what I'm saying? 10 jobs equals 4 more volunteers for Jamie, 3 more volunteers for Vanda, for Danielle. 5 more people walking the streets of Manchester helping us clean up. 4 more booths that's going to be, or floats that's going to be in the parade. Everything has a domino effect. But there's also that pride. There's that form of integrity when you do have employment. And it's just, so many businesses do better. Everybody does better with jobs. And I mean, That's what starts, and we have started, there's blacktopping going on right now, city streets. There's more to come, you know, out in the county, there's blacktopping going on too. But those things are happening. But I think, again, getting long opinion, but jobs are not support that.
Yeah, I think I touched on it, you know, briefly there at the very beginning. You know, to me, we need to get our businesses to come back inside the city limits. If Teleworks is in fact coming to create a hub, that needs to be done right in our town. I mean, right, not 5 miles up the road. I'm talking it needs to be done there in town. So I'd like to see that. But I wanna promote tourism. We're probably not gonna get a Toyota plant. At least not. But, you know, there's one thing that we ought to do, and we can have fun with it. And so when you're in the, having fun business, which is the business of tourism, I think it's the sky's the limit, especially for our part of the state. And I know there's people that's working on that right now. That's great. And we do have some things going on. But just briefly, last summer, a friend of mine told me to go up on Morris Creek and said there was a shooting match going on. Let me tell you, I pull in there. I was thinking, you know, people just, like I would have done, pulled up guns, see if you could hit a little, you know, no. There were people there in Clay County, Kentucky, Forest Creek, Kentucky, okay? Forest Creek, Kentucky. There were people there from 23 different states. That's half of the states in America were represented in our community. All right? I got to looking around. I said, you're wrong. I said, how many people are here? He said, well, we got 250 shooters from all over the world. I thought he was kidding with me. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we got 17 world champions here. And I thought, world champions of what? You know, I mean, I still did not, I was not grasping. So he put me on his side by side, and he says, let's just go and show him. These people were having such a wonderful time. And there were campers there that were cost, RVs that might have cost $1 million, down to people actually sleeping in what I consider my lifestyle, a tent. Okay? And so there were people from all walks of life here. They enjoyed it. They're on the circuit. There were people there from, had been there the year before from Australia. To Clay County, Kentucky, shoot their guns. They've also started, Jerome's a motorcycle rider, and so they, a lot of them started bringing in their Harleys and whatever, and they started riding. They started riding like from Manchester on 421 through Hyden, over top Pine Mountain, and come back through. You know, they just took rides, and they enjoyed that. So now, what used to be a 2-day event, you know, now he said it's probably a week-long event. And all those people are spending money. You know, that's the beauty of tourism. It's not just Jerome. It's not just our little section. But they have to eat. They have to get gas. If they break down, someone's going to have to repair it. So tourism is something I would really like to see. And if I'm a council member, I would want to fully support the good work that's being done with the Tourism Commission. And, you know, as I say, the one good thing I guess I'd like to see coming pretty soon would be, let's invite some people into town. Let's see what it takes to bring businesses back to downtown.
Ms. Coulter, we're talking about adventure tourism, ecotourism, those kinds of things.
Can I speak on what Eddie just said? Okay.
You ain't gonna buy it.
Yeah, no. This is my ex-son-in-law.
You loves
Anyway,
me, so we'll go.
tourism, again, is 80% city. That's Manchester precinct. Nowhere else but in the middle of Manchester. 20% of it can be spent in the state, in the county. The county chose not to be a part of us when we passed our little deal. I think they might if come into it now. They haven't offered, but 80% has to be spent on the city limits. So we can't do any of that Eddie's talking about. We can push a little bit. We can have service stations. We can pull in things like that for in town. But most of that is county. But tourism can help 20% on that. Did you realize that tourism could only spend in the city?
That's, tourism could spend 8% of their money, the way that our law is written right now, but that needs to be changed.
Well, not unless the county judge and the magistrates decide they want to be a part of it.
It needs to be changed.
Well, I agree with you.
There's no reason in the world, when you're looking at Clay County or Manchester, you're looking at a smaller square footage area or a square mile area. There's a lot of good people out in our county
Oh,
who
there
could
definitely is.
definitely benefit from this.
Well, when we
So, I mean,
started
we just need
out,
to find a way to actually make that come about.
that's
There's
true.
no reason
I
for it
think
to be that.
tourism is the way.
Is there any momentum with regard to the Walhalla as an adventure park? A few years ago, they had a great ATV event over there, well attended, thousands of people were there. Is there any momentum with the Walhalla as an adventure park or anything? That's in the city, so they can
Well-
spend some funds on that, right?
At the present, there isn't that I know of. Do you, Earl?
I think COVID-19 has kind of stopped a lot
I
of
think
that.
it stopped a lot.
There
You know,
were plans for a major, another major ATV event over there side by side, but COVID canceled that. There was a major horse ride that was going to originate there, a primitive camping thing. COVID kind of stopped that, and there was some more other
That
ideas.
is city-owned property, is that correct?
Yes,
So could the city designate that as a park, as an adventure park?
city is still paying for the property. I think we'll have it paid off and again,
It's still 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
we do pay, there was the whole process that went through, with, the lawsuit a number of years ago. That is being paid on yearly. That will be paid off.
4 years, I think. you
Yeah,
told
I
us.
think that's what he said the other night at the meeting. So hopefully, but to answer your question, we were told as a council, yes, you can do whatever you want to that property as long as that payment's coming in, correct, Barb?
That's right.
So they, essentially, yes. I mean, we could do, adventure park if someone would be interested. That would be wonderful.
We need to also brag on Project Hope for helping Manchester. They have helped
Absolutely.
tremendously. Yes, they have. It wouldn't really be as pretty as it is and clean as it is if it hadn't been for the jailer and her people and Project Hope and their people.
I'd personally like to see them utilize Walhalla. We need some type of fairgrounds, some type of place where we don't have to shut down the entire city of Manchester when we have an event. And bless your hearts, it's about the only place that we've got. We went over and watched the Shape and Play last year at the over there at the Appalachian Homes, whatever. Had a good crowd there, a nice big crowd over there. Parking was a little bit of an issue, but volunteers came together and bussed people down there, visitors down there, and we had some of the best bluegrass, bands, really in southeast United States. There were bands there from groups there from South Carolina and
Oh, yeah.
Alabama and
Lot of
Tennessee. Those are the type of events we need to have. I like to see them develop Walhalla. Either let's get back into the horse business with horse shows, or let's get into the ATV business and get us, the adventure trails over there and get that. I think we need to develop that area. Have no idea what it would cost, but I think that, and there's people out there that may have better ideas than that. And that's great. That's the reason why people sit on the city council and listen to what you got to say. You may have, don't hold back. You have an idea, you need to tell a councilman and let them bring it up, propose it. And if it's feasible, and people can vote on it and see where it goes from there.
I'd like to also say something that maybe people doesn't realize. The city council doesn't have much say in the tourism committee. They have their own commission. They were elected. We had a choice in suggesting people. And now it is up to them. In fact, we've got refused 2 or 3 things that we've even asked them for ourselves. You have to write a project. And so if you're really interested in something for tourism to do, you need to go to the tourism meeting. It meets the first Tuesday of every month at the Historical Society.
Good information.
Can I ask Mark a question?
Pardon?
Can I ask a question? Why is the city having to go to the tourism commission to ask for money?
Well, because the way it's written through the state, the city cannot tell them what they have to do. They have a commission, and they are the voting body of that tourism, and they're appointed 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, and the city has to write a project and an application before we can do anything with it. That's a
No,
good question.
But I guess I'm asking this, it all boils right back down to funding, To me, the tourism commission and the city council, even the county, Judge Johnson, you gotta work together.
Right.
You gotta pool your resources together.
That's very true.
But, and I understand, the city of Manchester went through a hard time. We've got uncollected tax debt. It really ought to infuriate people that's paying their taxes. Why isn't everybody else paying it? I don't know the
Can you imagine
solution.
that list of taxes that we have that needs to be paid? We tried to put that in the paper this time, and we didn't want to do that.
Well,
But I feel like the public needs to know who owes taxes. And I feel like if they see their name in writing out there in the paper, this will probably lose me votes. But but they may come and pay their taxes. I pay mine, you pay yours.
That's
And
good
why would
courtesy
you
to me,
have
really.
taxes if you weren't supposed to pay them?
well, I heard a number, $90,000.
10. Over 10. Oh, it's over that in Pearl.
I heard the figure $90,000 was actually owed in back taxes to the city of Manchester. $90,000 would be a nice chunk of money to have, if that's accurate.
Right.
I guess I
But
should
there's
say that.
certain legalities that you have to follow, right, Earl? And we started the first steps this past week. I don't know.
I think, getting back to everybody working together, I think now more so than ever, there's a joint willingness to work together, city, county, state, local groups. The thing is, it's like KRS says you can do this, but you can't do this.
That's right.
If we got $20,000 in this account, it doesn't mean, because I was the guy that said, oh my goodness, you got $50,000. Let's spend this here, but everything's earmarked. And I know that's kind of weird to say, but there's earmarks for certain things and projects that you can do with it. Right, restricted funds, and I mean, you may see one fund that has $115,000 in it. We can't spend it for, downtown improvement or blacktop, or we can't spend it for this, but you can spend it for water, sewage.
Earmark, it's earmarked.
Stuff of that nature. But the county and the city, local school board, local officials, there has been meetings with state officials and other officials, and we have worked together. We've all come on this, something you'll be really familiar with, the work-ready communities. And if you're not a work-ready community, it goes back to this jobs issue. You gotta be work-ready community. We are a work-ready community in progress. We will be getting, hopefully within the next year, that took care of. Again, COVID has slowed a lot of things down. on the state level, on the federal level. It's put people that are in their office setting at home working, so some things aren't moving as fast now in government as we would like. But that work-ready community goes back to that, what I'm talking about. Community leaders, city, county, state, community volunteers are a part of this board. Business owners are part of this board. That's gonna happen. It is coming. The second thing about the fairgrounds and stuff, I know that the Elk Hill Regional Industrial Development Board has had some meetings with Clay County. The fiscal court actually owns some property there, and it was my understanding that there's gonna try to perhaps be a trade of property for some better property to where we could potentially have like a fairgrounds, a small stage built there, maybe a horse ring, have a trailhead station there for both ATVs and horses. There is a grant that is in process to make some of the old trails here, bike trails and walking trails access. There is a move right now that is going to try to follow the Trail of Tears for a hiking trail and a bike trail that will go all the way through Manchester out through Colorado to Miracle Mountain and hopefully tie in down to Beach Creek. That is in the works, I can tell you. So there are things in the works. I mean, the image, there's things happening. Unfortunately, sometimes we got to be the turtle and not the hare, so to speak, because things move slow. But the ball is rolling, I'll say that, and the ball's rolling on so many different entities in our city and our county working together. It truly is.
Well, as we begin to wrap up, I have purposely been trying to be discreet over here and not a part of the conversation any more than a facilitator. And I appreciate the conversation this evening. And the themes that I'm picking up on is collaboration, slow, steady progress, cooperation between groups within the community, economic development opportunities. And I do believe that work-ready designation will make a big difference when you're talking companies. Say, would you like to relocate here? And we have, a surplus of workers. We have 1,250 capable workers that are driving out of town who can do that work here if you're interested in relocating. So I do believe the things I'm picking up today, and I hope the audience is as well, is that spirit of collaboration and passion for our community. And I see that in all three of you candidates. I appreciate it.